Greetings, friends, and welcome to Pathways of Hope. My name is Jim Orbe. Today is a Saturday, 30th week in Ordinary Time. The Gospel reading for today is taken from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 14, verse 1, and verses 7 to 11. If you're going to summarize the lesson that we can take for this reading, it's everyone who exalts himself shall be humbled. Let me read the gospel. So, a reading from the Gospel of Luke. One Sabbath, when he went to dine at the house of a ruler who belonged to the Pharisees, they were watching him. Now, he told a parable to those who were invited when he marked how they chose the places of honor, saying to them, "When you are invited by anyone to a marriage feast, do not sit down in a place of honor, lest a more prominent man than you be invited by him. And he who invited you both will come and say to you, 'Give place to this man.' And then you will begin with shame to take the lowest place. But when you are invited, go and sit in the lowest place, so that when your host comes, he may say to you, 'Friend, go up higher,' then you will be honored in the presence of all who sit at table with you. For everyone who exalts himself will be humbled, and he who humbles himself will be exalted." The Gospel of the Lord. In this passage, Jesus is attending a meal at the house of a Pharisee on the Sabbath. He observes how the guests at the table eagerly seek out the place of honor, positioning themselves as more important than others. So, in response, Jesus uses a parable to teach a lesson about humility. Jesus advises that when attending a feast or gathering, it is better to choose a lower seat rather than assume the place of honor. He explained that if you take the highest seat and someone more distinguished arrives, you may be asked to give up your seat, resulting in embarrassment. So instead, by taking a lower seat, you leave room for the guest or for the host, the one who invited the guest, to invite you to a better place, which would be an honor. At a practical level, this is a good advice for those concerned precisely about honor and shame. More importantly, at the level of the gospel message, the teaching indicates the great reversal being worked by God between first and last. The underlying message of this passage is about the virtue of humility. Jesus teaches that those who exalt themselves, seeking recognition and prominence, will ultimately be humbled, that is, by God. However, those who humble themselves and do not seek personal glory will be exalted by others, and more importantly, also by God. This is a message that is preached by Jesus himself because he lived it. He humbled himself, as St. Paul said in his letter to the Philippians, that though he was in the form of God, did not count equality with God a thing to be grasped, but instead emptied himself and became a servant. He humbled himself. And because of this, God greatly exalted him. So how about you, friend? How do you interpret the concept of humility in this passage? What does it mean to be humble in your own life? Have you ever witnessed or experienced a situation where people were eager to seek prominence or recognition? How did that situation play out? And what did you learn from it? Can you think of some practical ways that you can practice humility in your daily interactions and relationships with others? How does the idea that those who humble themselves will be exalted resonate with your personal beliefs or values? And finally, in what ways can the teachings of Jesus in this particular gospel passage be applied to promote humility and harmonious relationships in our society today? I pray that the grace of the Holy Spirit be with you as you reflect on our gospel today. God bless you.